Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast. We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show 2.
With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jack Butala with Jill DeWit.
Hey.
Welcome to our show today. In this episode, Jill and I talk about why you don't need a real estate agent.
Oh, no. What? Oh, shh. This is going to be our worst show, our worst listen to. Just kidding.
To be honest, when I started, I thought you had to be a real estate agent to buy and sell property. A lot of people think that in the beginning. Mm-hmm. Good show today. Before we get started, though, let's share something interesting that happened to us recently, Jill.
Actually, you know, I'm imagine the office culture is suffering right now without me there with you wreaking havoc and just messing up everyone's day. So I just wanted to ask, how is the office culture right now? Please tell me they're getting less done.
There's no way I can answer that honestly and still come out of this okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you miss me?
Oh, I miss you. Personally, I miss you a lot.
Thank you. I miss you too.
Personally is the key word.
Do you guys walk around all the day saying, oh gosh, thank goodness Jill's not here, this wouldn't happen, or we would never get this done?
Jill adds spice to everything that she's involved in, and sometimes it's
too spicy.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to spit it out.
Oh, what the heck?
It's too spicy.
Yuck. All right.
No, the office culture is great. We're just in a get stuff done mode. We just hired some pretty high pricey people to come in and really clean up some of the stuff, specifically in Land Academy. Because look, I never thought Land Academy would go anywhere. We kind of just did it for fun. It was started. It was a .org. Remember, we started out as a .org. It was a nonprofit. So all the resources have been till very recently just going into land stay and buying and selling land. That's our regular company. But it turns out, and I've said this several times on the air, and I'm not joking. It turns out everybody likes it. They really like it. So.
And they are doing it, and they're learning from it.
And we keep developing. We cannot develop the products that they're requesting fast enough. So they're all asking, here's an example. How do you which CRM do you use? How do you do this? How do you locate the property? What do you get titled? And on and on and on. So now we're developing products to make that incredibly easy for our members, and more people want it, and more people are signing up. So Jill and I decided to get super serious about it. And we hired some high-priced people. They're coming in and mopping it all up and making it super simple.
We have 6 products down the road, and I have one another person brought up the other day. I don't know if I should mention it now or not.
6 that you know about. There's probably 8 more. Go ahead.
I know. Someone brought up the other day about the whole notary. Like, do we have our own notary 1, 2, 3? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I talked to our staff about that, and they said, yes, there's an API-specific way we can actually draw that into our own scenario. So, yes, that is on the list now. I saw that question, and I prompted the same thing, Jill.
So, yeah, I'm like, oh, yeah, we don't have that, but maybe we should. Okay, we're on it.
Let's take a question posted by one of our members on successplant.com, our free online community.
Okay. Pat asks, I would like to auction a higher value parcel, like $50,000 real fast. Which way is best? eBay, LandWatch, bid for assets. Anyone have any suggestions or strategies?
Once in a while, we get an easy question, and the answer is this: post it everywhere. Always. We are actually, this is not a commercial. We're developing a product where you post it one place and it just shoots it out and connects it to everything. So that's not coming anytime soon, but it is coming soon, but not the next second. But tomorrow. We say this over and over and over again. Do not put yourself in a box and just sell it in one place. One of the biggest errors, if not the biggest failure that I've made in my career, company-wide, career-wide, was selling using eBay as the only sales channel for like 10 plus years. And I really lost out on a lot of the channels. The fastest place to sell an asset like that is on Facebook. There are lots of tiny little groups, depending on what the asset's like. If it's a house, if it's land, or which state it's in, you'd be shocked and amazed at the people that scour Facebook that are buyers, professional buyers for these types of assets. The key is, if $50,000 is the retail value, you're not going to have any luck selling it anywhere, or you're going to have to wait 6 to 8 months.
If it's you're right. If it's $100,000 retail value and you're selling it for 50, now you're talking.
Yeah, then you're going to sell it in 35 seconds in any venue. But you still should post it, because the more inquiries you get, the bigger the list that you build. I mean, if you're new or relatively new or in the first few years, you want to build a massive list. I mean, we have a list of, I don't even know what it's up to now, 80 or 90,000 people that have expressed like an opt-in list for these asset types. So you always want, and it'll always grow. So I have to say, we're a little bit guilty this once in a while. We flip it real fast, but the right way to do it is to post it everywhere, especially if you're relatively new. Is that it, Jill? Do you have anything to add?
No, I'm just right there with you. So thank you. What? Did like it's, you know what it is? You're like a teacher just called me. Jill, back row there. You. Attention. That's exactly what you just said. Do you have anything you would like to add? Okay, thank you. Then eyes up here.
Oh, because I wasn't listening at all.
Jill, yeah, Are you with us? Thank you.
In Ferris Bueller, where the clock actually at the end goes backwards. It clicks backwards right before 3 o'clock. Remember that when you're in school?
Dude, I don't even remember that.
It goes backwards.
It did that in Ferris Bueller?
You just had that look in your face.
I did. I know. I'm sorry. I was reading. I have stuff on one screen, and I was reading to see if there's any part of the question that we missed. Thank you very much.
If you have a question,
suggestion or nothing.
If you have a question, or you want to be go ahead.
No, we're good.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, reach out to either one of us on successplant.com. Hey, it doesn't have to be either one of us. There's lots of qualified people on there, maybe more than us, to answer your questions. Today's topic: why you don't need a real estate agent all of the time. Jill, go ahead. Why don't you take this one? Why don't you need a real estate agent? People think, I used to think this, you need a real estate agent to do a deal. I thought there was some like register, like some, like some big list of people that could do real estate deals, and you had to be licensed. You had to get a license.
My number one answer is because you're not representing anyone but yourself. I'm not looking out for anyone's best interest. They're not trusting me with their finances and their blah, 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 blah. I'm buying this for myself.
That's it.
And when I'm selling it, it's me selling it. So that's why, like a car, I don't have to go to a dealer. I can buy my next door neighbor's car if I want. I could hand out cash and count out hundreds in cash, and they hand me the keys, and I drive away and I go get it registered. It's like that.
I'm glad you brought that up, that dealership thing, because unlike this, there's no limit to the number of properties that you can buy and sell in any given year. With dealership licenses, even if you are doing a personal transaction, there's a limit. I think in Arizona it's 5 or 6 cars. After that, even if you're buying them for yourself, you're supposed to get a license. Dealership.
Oh,
so
I didn't know that.
There's a reason for this confusion. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that you have to get licenses for. Like you can't, insurance. You need a license, and that's what legitimately causes the confusion in everybody's head.
You know what? You're right. Let me think about that, because our own in Arizona, Governor Doug Ducey, one of the things that he was trying to do recently, I read about this several months ago, was reduce the number of licenses. It's like you have to have a barber license, you have to have a hairdresser license, you have to have a this license. Right. I mean, there's so many, and I always look at it as, it's just a way to tax and get some revenue, right?
It's a create a database so you can charge money.
And you have to renew your license every year and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, gosh, that's just, and he even said, we have too many licenses. It's almost like if you're a professional dog walker, you need a license. Yeah. It's just getting out of hand.
Right.
So, yeah, I should be able to get my hair cut by my next door neighbor and then pay them cash, and not hide it,
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
So it used to be a long, long time ago that when you went to go buy a piece of real estate, you would go to somebody like maybe at their chamber of commerce who knew everybody, a social butterfly, let's say, and say, you know, I want to buy a house, or I want to sell, I want to buy or sell a house. Do you know anybody? And they would say, oh, you know, I just had tea with this person, and they or whatever, beers and stuff, and they said they're thinking about selling their house. I'll walk over there. I'm going to introduce you. That's the value. Because there's no such thing as a database, or there wasn't even the MLS, the multiple listing service. Then there's some huge value in somebody putting, you know, that's information that's really valuable. So, but the way the computers are now and how we can post property, you have to really kind of wonder what the value is that they really bring. Some of them they're great. You know, the successful ones, if you're really, really busy and you don't have time to drive around and look at stuff for residential, it's great. You know, the vast majority, I think, of real estate agents are really, really, really useful. I think there's a certain percentage who get in the way of a deal. So I'm not knocking real estate agents at all. There's a huge place. I'm just saying, for our product type and the way we do it, it doesn't make a lot of sense to seek out a real estate agent.
Well, another good example is we both have great relationships with several real estate agents that give us these deals because they don't want to touch them. Yeah. By the time they post them and do whatever and all that kind of stuff, their commission, it's not worth their time when they're talking a maybe $600 commission versus a $6,000 commission. Yeah. Now it's worth their time, you know, kind of thing. They don't even want them, you know, so there's a beautiful example there.
You're beautiful.
Oh, thank you. I like how you went from tea to beer. There was nothing in between there. Have a Coke. I don't know. Is tea or beer?
I was talking to somebody recently. I'm like, how's everything going? They said, oh, it's not going well. I drink a lot of caffeine in the morning and I drink a lot of beer at night. I'm like, what kind of gauge is that? It sounds like it's going fine.
Sounds like our friend Simon.
And then I started asking myself some questions. I'm like, well, I kind of do that sometimes, and I think that's a good day, not a bad day. Not every day, but you know.
That's true. That's really funny. I came up with something the day that I was yesterday afternoon. I worked in the morning, and then I was off early afternoon on my bike on the Strand, and I thought I need to schedule every day like this. You know, I was actually doing the hours, going, if I just give up every single day, and I don't care, so 7 days a week, but. And I make myself do like 6 to noon. I could do this. Then I could be on the beach every day at 12:30 on my bike. So that might be my new work schedule. I'll let you know.
I love it. No, I love, I always said I would love to start at 4 a.m. and stop, or 5.
Or 10.
And stop at like noon.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Especially on the West Coast, you can really get away with that because it's 3 or 4 o'clock back east. If you deal with people like
That's very true.
So, do we wrap it up? Do you think why you don't I should say this: why you don't need a real estate agent all of the time?
I've never used.
Here's the reason I think you would need a real estate agent, because you want to maximize price. You would think that a real estate agent would come in, full service real estate agent would come in, especially if you're selling a house, clean it all up, tell you to put the toilet seat down, as you say, and really help you out and maximize price. I don't think that's what happens. I think most people just want to get a deal done. But for our asset type, I'm not sure it's necessary. Go ahead.
I would use a real estate agent.
Girl in the back of the class.
Yeah, that's right.
Stacy in the back.
That's right. Hey, you. Cute bangs, back of the class. No. I think that I would use a real estate agent if I worked for a large company and I was relocating to another city. Excellent. And I couldn't do the legwork. Yep. And I would, I'm not there. Money. I'm not interested in the money at all because the company's paying for this transfer. By the way, I just need them to find the right property that meets my criteria. So the day I fly into town, they have the 3 best ones for me to look at. Then I would use a real estate agent.
I used a real estate agent to find an apartment once like that because I had a corporate thing. I was working at a company for a year as a consultant. And boy, what a mess that ended up being, because the people that paid the real estate agent, there were only certain complexes that paid. And so I ended up they signed me up to this place that was like an hour drive. So I said, you know what? You need to figure that out with my employer, but I'm going to go rent this place over here, even if I have to pay for it myself so I can walk to work.
Oh, that's not cool.
That's what I'm saying.
So they put you somewhere else because of their commission.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Look, I'm not in it. I'm not. Really, I'm really not.
That's funny. All the buildings you like, they turn there, you don't want to live there. No, you don't want to live there.
Just, I want to drive. You know, part of it's me. I probably should have said, if I do not drive for a year, then I'd be a happy person if I walk everywhere.
I have one more thing, and my mom was a real estate agent. Your sister is a real estate agent. So we have real estate agents in our world that we love and have worked with, and really, really good stuff. But just for what we do, it just doesn't fit. But shoot, what was I going to add to that? I just lost in my thoughts. I was trying to be politically correct, and it made me lose my train of thought.
No, I just told the story about having to drive. I should have said, I don't want to drive anywhere. What's important to me is I don't drive anywhere. I don't care about a 3-bedroom, palatial. In fact, I don't want that either.
Exactly.
My life's over.
Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that, so never mind. Okay.
Hey, join us in another episode where Jill can remember what she's going to say, and I'll discuss information. That's me.
And inspiration. I'm trying. That's me. Oh my gosh.
Don't worry about it. It's okay.
Okay.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. We can do it together. Let's do it together. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You are not alone in your real estate ambition. It was like harmony.
Yeah.
It didn't come to you yet, did it?
No, what?
That's all right. Next show, maybe.
Something else I was going to say about it, and now I can't remember.
My sister was in town recently. I spent a lot of time with her. We were talking about real estate a lot, and she said, real estate agents, they're either great or they're not. She's like the number 5 by dollars and volume, the whole thing. She's consistently top 10 producer in state of Michigan. And she said, for a lot of years, so she's really experienced, and she said, real estate agents are either great or they're incredibly successful or they're not successful at all. And I think that's really helpful in a lot of things. It's not a part-time gig,
Mm-mm.
People who do it, she's established trust. It's word of mouth is every time she's here, her phone's ringing off the hook.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a tough job.
Oh,
I mean, you talk about being on and available. I don't want to do that.
Being a real estate investor, I think, is 1,000 times easier than being a real estate agent.
Yep. It's my money. I get to make the decisions. I don't have to run to somebody else and wait for their answer and have to be, massage each, the buyer and the seller. It's awesome.
That's what the title of this show should have been.
Mm-hmm. Real
estate investor is easier than a real estate agent.
Oh, I thought you meant Jill massaging real estate agents and no, just kidding.
Massaging?
You have to massage the seller and massage the buyer to get them to meet in the middle.
Okay, massage.
Thank you. I need a massage. That's what this is about.
That's exactly what's going on. Information and inspiration to buy undervalued massages.
We are Jack and Jill, and this was the Cash Flow from Land Show.
We are the experts at acquiring property
of all kinds, not just land.
For half price, just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.